So self-esteem, here we talk about that again. As I was raising, I remember, I come from a very diverse family. Like my parents and my father and my mother, they're completely have a different culture, even though they're from the same country, but two opposite direction. And then they met, and then we grew up in a very mixed environment, and then on top of that they got married without the consent of their parents. So in a sense that not everyone was happy about it. So there was all sort of things, family pressure as we were growing up, which basically takes us back to our what I want to bring is a lot of times self-esteem happens when we are in the childhood mode. A lot of times what we don't understand, and it can be in any culture. Like it can be, it doesn't matter. Like if we keep on telling someone negative things about themselves, if we keep on having expectations from that are unexpected, or if we are not being real, or if we are trying to put pressure that belong to us but we're trying to put on the other person, eventually if the person doesn't have a high self-esteem of themselves, or if they don't know, if they're not rebellion, or if they don't have that tendency to fight back, we have somehow, some way, we have the tendency, we can fall in that pit. So it happens a lot in the childhood, the self-esteem part, like where parents and us, we should all, that's where we come in. We should, instead of comparing the kids to all these other kids around it, first of all, we have to understand that there's no comparison. Like, there's literally, by the time we get to the age of 30, the micro details that has happened to all of our lives, they're so different that we are so unique that you can never ever compare ourselves to anyone else. Like, it's just, that's how it is. But still we keep on going through this comparison mode, and that starts all the way in the childhood, and we should abstain away from, like, that's something that is really destructive to a child. Self-esteem, consistently comparing them, consistently mocking them, consistently making fun of them. Now, as I was going through my childhood, I had to go through a lot of bullying, behavior. I was short, and a lot of kids in my class were much taller and much older in age than me, and then the neighborhood and then the family pressure and stuff like that. But for me, it worked because there was some sort of a rebellion nature, that if you have that, like if you, and now I understand that. I didn't understand it back then. It was more about, I'm going to prove it, and then I'm going to show it, and I'm going to work towards it, because, you can't just say that I'm going to prove it and then jump into the lake and then don't know how to swim. Like, the process is to actually go out and then practice more and more, and then train yourself where your confidence and esteem matches, and you basically turn the things around. So, but not everyone has a rebellion nature. Like, not at least not to every task. Like, they're not going to rebel on everything. There might be rebellion in one thing but might not on the other. So when we are putting pressure on the kids, even in the young age, that basically can destroy their self-esteem. So we must avoid that. That's where the foundation of this thing goes. Later on, then, if you already think that your self-esteem is low or negative, then you're already starting from the negative side. You're not even starting from zero and moving to the positive. Now you have to cover that negative era, that minus, and come to zero, and then move into the positive, which requires more work. So that is very important when we are developing self-esteem, not for only ourselves, but also how we develop in our kids and our generation, is by promoting them, by encouraging them, by actually giving them mentorship, by realizing that what their strengths are and trying to push them in that direction. It's easy to get people and make fun of them. Listen, if the easiest thing in the world is to have an opinion, and basically they're all over for free, right? What's not available is the action. And a lot of time when people are saying a lot of things, if you really pay attention, which why I always say that, I was like, always watch who you're listening to, because you got to see what they've been doing. And if they don't have the practicality of their self-esteem, whatever they call it, or the way they're saying things to you, then that's very dangerous for you. So we really want to contact people, or we really want to be in people who actually promote us, or we want to be the mentors who promote other people. The same way we want people to promote us, we want to go out there and help other people. That helps us raise our... See, when we help other people raise confidence, when we are not jealous, when we are actually helping people become better in their fields, automatically it makes us feel better, and we become more... our self-esteem becomes like, we value ourselves way better. Our image about ourselves it becomes much better. So that's another thing that we must consider. Like, when the child is coming out of the childhood, like we must not push them consistently, because a lot of time, like once they get stuck in that thing, it is very, very difficult. It's like, taking some sort of drugs. Like, if you're not into that pitfall, if you're not into that thing, it's easy to stay away from it. But once you're into that thing, then now you have to go through the recovery mode, and now you have to go through all this next process. So we don't want to insert that venom. That's why those low esteem and negative self-esteem and these things are so dangerous. Like, I honestly do not, like, I think they should replace these words of low and high with maybe more positive or more balanced, and with negative self-esteem, because I do think that, my just using the words, my bank account is low, like, it automatically gets you depressed, right? So if you say my confidence is low or my self-esteem is low, you're automatically in a depressed mode. So we don't want to do that. We might want to say, I'm not viewing the things right, I'm not perceiving the things right. Maybe I need help. Maybe I need to clear some, I cannot see, there's a lot of vagueness. Maybe I need more visibility. Maybe something that I was thinking that didn't go right, but all the other things that did go right in my life, I have to look at that. So avoid using, these words, and let's try not to put pressure and people around, because we have to realize each person is unique. There's no comparison. We must look at our strengths, and that's how we can, once we focus on those strengths, our confidence automatically goes up, and then we can value ourselves better by producing more value for people. So that's